Hey everybody, it's Dr. Brockenshire, and today I want to get you some ideas on how to clean up your cells, basically correct the physiology from this pandemic that we're going through. No pun intended, but it is a novel approach. Remember, novel means new. And so this isn't a detox story, okay? This is how to correct all of these little intracellular imbalances that are leading to inflammation, weight gain, kind of fatigue, lack of motivation. I've heard more people in the last few weeks describe these feelings of what's the point anymore. I mean, I know there's no sports, but what is the point? So what we're going to do is help the cells, particularly liver cells, find that point and sharpen the point. So we're going to talk about the gut and the liver. Now, most of you have heard someone somewhere talk about leaky gut. This isn't anything new. But what happens online is everybody's got their own agenda. So all these influencers online who are so-called experts always hone in on one particular aspect and blow it out of proportion and try and sell you something. So the best way to come at this problem is look at it from a 30,000 foot point of view. And in this case, with leaky gut, it helps to understand how it happens. So what leaky gut really means is the spaces between the cells have gotten too big, so protein molecules can go between. Now that space, that gap junction, is supposed to be a certain size, and it shouldn't be any bigger. What happens if it gets bigger than it's supposed to, then complete protein molecules from, say, your diet, so undigested food or gluten, can go through that space now and re-enter the bloodstream, and then that causes an immune reaction, which leads to inflammation, fatigue, runny nose, headache, etc. So just a general bad mood from leaky gut. So some of the main causes in your diet include things like gluten, proteins from dairy like casein, alcohol we know is inflammatory to the gut. Not all alcohol is created equal, for example. If the name of the alcohol is called gut rot, you're probably pretty sure what it does. But we do know that some compounds in red wine are good for the gut. We know that hops, high hop beer like IPAs, are sort of good for the gut. So in this case, we're going to be talking about balance. If you basically eat pizza and beer every day, you're going to have a leaky gut. So fast food is still bad, even if they deliver with DoorDash. Well, there's a lot of medications that can cause leaky gut. Most of this you know. One that most people don't recognize, though, are the xenobiotics. Those are the environmental chemicals that we're all exposed to, like fertilizer, dandelion killer, pesticides, herbicides, etc. Most of us have some type of infection going on at any given moment, even if it's not COVID. H. pylori being a common one, which is easy to handle. Different types of overgrowths, whether it's SIBO or SIFO. SIBO, B for bacteria. SIFO, F for fungal. So that's the small intestine overgrowth. You know you got a problem there if you wake up with a flat tummy and you go to bed with a bloated belly. If that's you, you're brewing something in the gut that needs to be dealt with. I'll do a spot on parasites all by themselves coming soon, because there's a lot of new information on that. Americans, you are infected with parasites. So, fun topic, just in time for summer. Stress is the fastest way to get a leaky gut. Anybody that's been so stressed out they've had to run to the bathroom, that's what I'm talking about. But the chronic stress leads to inflammation, which causes this imbalance in the chemistry. Hormonal's been known forever. I always tell docs, if you've been doing everything right and you still can't solve a leaky gut or a detox problem, it's a hormonal issue. Then we have the neurologic side. In my world, one of the things I specialize in is traumatic brain injury and concussion recovery. We do know there's direct correlation between concussion and gut liver issues. Easy to check You'll notice that behind me we've got one of these cool helmets. That's part of our WAVI system. We can use that to see if you've had a concussion or how your brain's doing in general. More on that later. And then there's the stuff our bodies do to ourselves. So when we're detoxing things all on our own, sometimes we have to take a bad chemical and make it worse. And that's called an endotoxin, and those things can be pretty nasty. Food poisoning, for example, or a hangover. So this is really what causes leaky gut. Living on planet Earth causes leaky gut. So somebody says, "Oh, doc, I was just diagnosed with leaky gut." I say, "Yeah, welcome to the club. We are all dealing with this all the time. It's the severity that matters." So the reason it's such a big deal is it increases the pollution level and the burden on the liver. How do you know you got a liver issue? Well, the blood tests for liver function are rather poor because by the time liver issues show up in the blood, the liver is already damaged. So you're actually measuring damaged liver tissue in the blood. I'd like to not wait that long. So symptoms of a liver gallbladder issue, and we use these organs together because they kind of work together. And don't worry, if you don't have a gallbladder, there's still help. If you don't have a liver, you got a problem. So muscles in general, achy muscles. If you wake up with real achy muscles, or your muscles just hurt all the time, kind of a fibromyalgia situation, that's a liver issue. The PMS is not premenstrual syndrome. It stands for pectoral major sternal. And that's these pecs right here. So if you rub those really hard and they're sore, probably got some liver congestion. So those would be one of the muscles we would test. The rhomboids behind the shoulder blades, owie, those are typically sore. If you wake up in the middle of the night with a cramp between your shoulder blades, that will be liver and gallbladder. The clock for the liver runs about 1 to 3 in the morning. The clock for the gallbladder runs about 11 to 1. If you want to know more about the timing of organs, check out the book, The Circadian Code. It's the Circadian Code. It talks about what organs do what at what time. It's all based around the DNA of each organ and the clock that it's been set to. Now, chiropractically, we often see the same problems showing up in the spine as it relates to the liver. And so the 6th cervical vertebrae will often be tender and restricted, and so will the 8th thoracic. So C6 and T8 are often an issue with liver people or liver congestion. T4 is the most common issue for gallbladder. And those are the people with the pain between the shoulder blades and saying, "Oh, doc, would you rub that? Doc, can you adjust that one more time?" There's nothing wrong with your spine. It's all coming from the organ. This is the referral pattern. And one of the most common referral patterns is liver gallbladder. So how am I going to clean it up? Well, how do you know you really need to do this? So let's ask yourself some hard questions. Let's look at the mental and emotional aspects of a liver gallbladder person. Lacking rationality, judgmental. You start something but you don't finish. Holding a grudge. Anger, resentment, guilt, frustration. Stoic, immovable. Could be a lot of us. Now don't pick any fights after you watch this. Physically, lots of gas, upper and lower. Achy joints, gouty type symptoms. Hands are achy when you get up in the morning, particularly here. So this is really sore in the morning. If this V, okay, if this V is sore in the morning, that is liver gallbladder. If you can't sleep, you keep waking up because you can't sleep, usually liver gallbladder. If your fingernails are getting yellow and cracked, liver gallbladder. So on and so forth. It's kind of quite the master list of symptoms if you really think about it. So feel free to take a screenshot of that. It's kind of a handy sheet to have. But the story, when it comes to detox, if I look at the liver and what it's doing, it's kind of remarkable. So this is just kind of biochemistry 101. There's a lot going on with how we do things in the liver. And yeah, it's complicated. The beautiful thing is so is our food. So if you're eating real whole food, typically you're able to manage this. What's happening today is the quality of our food has gone down and our burdens have gone up. So our organs have to do more work than ever before with less and less resources. Sounds a lot like society, but anyways, one of the famous Greek greetings back in the day was, "How's your liver?" Not "how you doing," but "How's your liver?" And so maybe they knew something. But if you look at all the nutrients required to have a healthy liver, they're not easy to get. Interestingly enough, if you were to eat liver, you would get all these nutrients in the right ratios. Not everybody can eat liver, and one of the hard things about eating liver is A, the taste, and B, the quality of the source. So we've got to find another option. All right. So there's a lot of things hurting us, but we're well equipped to help them. Fine. What are we going to do? Well, your key foods include beets, beetroot, beet greens, artichokes, dandelion, root and leaf, bitter endive, chicory, mixed greens, a little bit of hot lemon juice in the morning. So if you're going to make yourself a hot cup of tea, you can put a tea bag in there and squeeze some fresh lemon juice in it. Now, there's a lot of bad information online about lemons. So the lemon juice is wonderful in moderation. It's alkalizing. It helps drain the gallbladder. It's good to do in the morning. It'll help you move your bowels. But don't juice the peel. So there's interesting videos online of people filling a ninja blender with lemons and hot water and just blending the whole thing and drinking it. The basic rules of chemistry apply that if you drink juiced lemon peel, you're actually degreasing your mucous membranes, and that's extremely damaging to your body. So don't do that. Stick with the juice, and you will create a healthy bile flow and, more importantly, move your bowels. So how are we going to do this? Well, the easiest thing to do is change the diet. Yeah, I know, sounds easy. Okay, fine. Back in the day, we would talk about you need 3 to 4 weeks, and we're going to have to remove everything you love from your diet. We need to change everything about your lifestyle, take all these shakes and pills and fiber, don't make any plans or appointments, and in 3 weeks you'll be a new person. Yeah, that's not going to work today. And so we've got a lot on our plate as busy people. So what I've put together is the simplest system I could come up with. All I need is about a week for you to make a change. So if you love coffee, enjoy your coffee. I got to limit it to about 6 to 12 ounces a day, black only. Okay, so it's got to be black coffee. It's got to be ground fresh. At the very worst, it could be an espresso, but no Speedway or Dunkin' Donuts. Okay, let's go with fresh black coffee. And there's a lot of different ways you make your coffee. I'll leave it up to you. If you have to have alcohol, we really got to cut it down. I mean, I know some of us have been day drinking for 8 weeks. Time out on that. Guys, you may have up to maximum 10 glasses of wine a week. Ladies may have up to maximum 5 glasses of wine a week. Okay? It's not a gender bias thing, it's just the way chemistry works. Now, ideally, no coffee and no alcohol. But, you know, that's going to cause some issues with some people. So to keep it simple, rule number 1, let's change the diet. We're going to knock out all fast food. All fast food. You're going to learn to cook. You're going to learn to bring a lunch. You're going to start eating breakfast. Or you can have a shake for breakfast. If that scares you, we have a solution. If you don't want to eat, you take the Paleo Cleanse Plus. This is a shake, and you get to see the strawberry vanilla flavor one. Designs for Health does a great job at flavoring things using real food components for flavoring. This has everything your liver needs to function. This is the paleo version. Okay, there's two types of shakes. There's the paleo version and the veggie version. The paleo version is a bone broth based, and the bone broth is European, so it's clean. And it's a protein base, but it's a meal replacement. So if you did one shake twice a day and ate a decent dinner, you do that for a week, not only are you going to lose weight and feel better, but you're going to start cleaning out the pipes. If you do the veggie cleanse, that is a organic pea protein based system. You can do the same thing. So changing the diet is hard. Let's do it this way. Take one shake twice a day, eat a decent dinner, clean whole foods, no foods you can't pronounce or spell, please. And we're going to add some glutathione to your life to help your body break these poisons down. So you would do a teaspoon twice a day of this. Hold your breath when you take it, and it won't taste too bad. And then if you don't move your bowels regularly, or if detoxing tends to constipate you, we want to throw in some natural colon clear. That's what the CLR stands for. This is a natural assistant tool to help you move your bowels. So if you said, Doc, I got to do something. I got to clean my life up. I got a week. I said, okay, in 1 week, here's what we can do. 2 shakes plus a meal each day. This will last 1 week. Couple of these a day to make sure you're regular and you're moving out all that funk. 1 teaspoon 1 to 2 times a day to make sure your body has some resources so you don't move or smear some of this mess around. After 1 week, you'll be lighter, you'll feel better, and you should have a new appreciation for what your cells have to go through on a daily basis to keep you alive.